I think I'm live. How are you? Welcome. Welcome to Elder Council. I forgot. Can you do me a favor and look in that cabinet right to your left? The right door opens first, and see if there's a tin in there, like a square. Yep, on the bottom left. Is there a tin, like a square box on the bottom left?
Not a square, only round.
I'm looking for, it's like a tin box that I got in Paris. No, it's a tin box on the bottom. There's nothing like that. Give me 1 second, you guys. I forgot to look and see if I had my Pacho tobacco. Give me 1 second.
Is everything on
No, okay. Maybe I think I took it to SG and left it there.
Oh,
I know. That's too bad. Actually, let me see if this will work. No, that's all right. I might have some here. I might have, I can't believe I left. What else did I leave at Sage Goddess? How are you tonight? Shit. One of these days, y'all, I'm gonna have all my stuff. Oh, I do have some. Okay, this will work. I'm gonna make it work. Okay, let me come back to where I was. All right. Whew, I'm so excited for this evening. You did hear Smudge. He's in the house. He's dissatisfied with the amount of food he received today, so you might hear a lot from him. This is Elder Council. You have some green medicine. I can't do that and lead a journey, unfortunately, but I can do a little mapacho. I can't do too much because the great news in my world is I think I might have pneumonia. I'm not healing from my flu. My kids are fine, but I'm still up all night coughing. So I'm going to do a little tobacco with you, not too much. I know. I am going to go have an x-ray after the new moon is my commitment to myself. But I'm fine to get through, and I'm on a lot of cough medicine, and I just am not sleeping. Your whole family has it. Well, I actually, what happens for me with Elder Council, one of the reasons, especially when I'm not feeling good, I don't like to not do class, is it's very healing for me to do class with you. I always feel better. So, and I don't know if that's the same for you, but I can come into medicine space and ceremony and stuff with you guys and really not feel good. I may need Lee to get me some tissue. I'm realizing I need a tissue box in here for cold and flu season, but oregano oil is what you use. Yeah. So anyway, you're not here to hear about my health, but I do think that ceremony is very healing and can be so incredibly potent. And especially tonight's ceremony, which I want to back up the truck. Anybody new to Elder Council? Because I really want to, especially because this is a new class and a new context for it, I really want to go back almost like it's the first time. And I don't know about you, but I love that. I love coming to old things from a new mindset. Yeah, and I think we do have some newbies. So I really want to walk you through it as if none of us have ever done it before. Because every time I do it, it's new. And I never repeat an Elder Council meditation. I've been doing it for, I think it's 12 years now. And I've never repeated one before. And I always get a download from my spirit guides. It was no different this time. And I will tell you, incredible influence this time, the last couple of days from Madre Ayahuasca. You probably haven't heard me talk much about ayahuasca lately, and that's because my ex-husband made an issue of it in our separation paperwork. So now I don't do it until I'm free of that nightmare. But so it kind of sucks that I can't work with my plant teachers. But for now, what's really cool is I still hear her voice. I still hear her guidance. I went back through, in preparing for tonight, I went back through my old notebooks with my old notes from the last couple of journeys and was listening to the Icaros. And it was really beautiful just to kind of sit with her as I prepared for tonight. Because I definitely feel like there's something of her essence in what came through for me to lead you through tonight. And I think that's really cool. So no, she's not leaving me, and I won't leave her forever, but I'm in a place of least resistance right now. So it is what it is. it's a chance for me to work without, see what I can do on my own. If everything is intended, right, and everything is as it's meant to be, then this time too has its unique aspects and medicina, right? So I want to start with just a little white sage, and some of the medicine for tonight's ceremony. The guidance I was getting was like, get back to simplicity a little bit. You know, everything gets so complicated. Our world is so complicated right now, is it not? You know, it's somewhat surreal, don't you think? And I'm not even talking about politics. It's like we are just in a different world. I have foreseen a lot of what's happening right now, as a lot of you know, because you were there. I mean, I literally foresaw most of almost everything that's happening right now. And I didn't want to. I mean, at the time, this was like 8 years ago, 10 years ago, I was like, oh, I don't want to see this. Now I'm like, well, whether you like it, here we are. And one of the most interesting parts of what I saw that is emerging now is AI, artificial intelligence. I saw all that coming. I didn't know what I was seeing. I mean, could you have imagined it? That like, I couldn't have imagined it, because there was no, I've told you this before, as adult learners, the way we learn things is that we develop what are called schema. And so what your brain does is, if it sees something it's never seen before, it tries to pattern it. It tries to look for something else in your brain that's kind of like that. And that's why we as humans say things like, well, it kind of tastes like chicken. You know what I mean? Because our brain has to have something to relate something else to. It's the limitation of the human brain. Honestly, from a neurological perspective, that is our main limitation, is that we rely on schemata. So because we have to know something that's like something else in order to make sense of it, when I was seeing like AI and journeys and stuff, I was like, what do you mean? Like writing isn't going to happen anymore. A lot of jobs that people do aren't going to be needed anymore. And right now AI is out there. Wait till AI is in our very beings, right? So being able to rewrite the cellular blueprint of our bodies, which could lead to massive, I mean, what I've foreseen is massive transformations in healthcare, like being able to rewrite the blueprint of your body such that you override genetics, illness, disease, and lifespans increase dramatically, signs of aging, like, anyway, so there's a lot of just really incredible possibilities, and I've already seen a lot of them, and now I understand what I was seeing, and so now I'm even more freaked out / excited about it, right? But I'm telling you all of this, right? I'm telling you all of this because we live in unprecedented times, and for whatever reason, you chose to be here now, I chose to be here now, but I want to tell you why I feel like all of this is relevant to Elder Council. Okay. The Elder Council of tonight is, I'm hoping you enjoy it, because I will tell you, I need it. It's designed to be, I'm just doing that because you and your glasses and me and my readers and stuff. It's the Elder Council I need. So when it came through to me in meditation over the last couple of days, I was like, oh yeah, I can be here for this. I can get with this. And so I'm hoping it's also going to be a source of relaxation, comfort. I want to ask your permission to take my time tonight. I don't want to rush. I'm not in a hurry. I hope that you won't be in a hurry either. I do want to tell you, for some people, YouTube is playing ads, and that's not because we're asking them to do that. Like, I don't do any kind of advertising for the work I do now, because of my post-traumatic stress disorder from advertising. So I don't do any of that, but if you don't have like a upgraded YouTube version, there may be an ad at some point. I just don't want you to get upset with us, because that's not our doing, and we're trying to figure out a way around that. And I am not in the comments so much right now, but I do see that some of you are offering condolences to each other. So I'm so very sorry if you're going through challenges. But I also want to say, if you are going through challenges, thank you for spending some time with me right now. Like I said, I hope tonight is healing for you. I'm going through some challenges too. I'm glad you showed up. And the goal of Elder Council is to provide you with deep connection, some really good wisdom, and some answers to questions that you don't necessarily know the answers to. So that is the whole focus. That's the whole intention. And I love that we can just slow down together a little bit and not be in a rush or even be looking at the time. Elder Council is not a traditional class session. That means it might go till 6, it might not. It might go till 6:15. I don't look at the clock, so sometimes it's under time. This is a bonus for you. This is a gift. It used to be it's always been part of my online programs. I decided to make it part of Wax and Wane to make it more universally available to people because that was the more affordable of the programs. And so it's a quarterly meditation to connect you with some of your ancestors, spirit guides, ascended masters, teachers, and light beings from different dimensions, depending on what your belief system is. All the cool kids can be there. Not everybody shows up. So if you're looking for grandma and grandma doesn't show up, it doesn't mean that grandma doesn't love you. It just means that she's not part of the medicine for tonight, right? But there may be some other energy completely random that you weren't anticipating or expecting. And you're like, oh, that's who decided to show up. Yeah. Oh, the replay will have ads. Yeah. So anyway, what Circe said. But again, we're not our fault. We're not trying to make that happen. So you don't have to know anything, do anything, or be anything special to enjoy tonight. If it's your first time, it's kind of all of our first time because there is no set protocol for this, except one thing. So Elder Council started when I first started teaching online classes. I had already been teaching for a lot of years. I'd been leading a spiritual group too. Before I started online classes in San Diego, I had a group that gathered for ceremonies and new moon and full moon. So I've been doing this for a very long time. That was sort of like pre-online. Like at that point, nobody was really doing a lot of stuff online. So when I transitioned to doing online work in a class called the Magical Sabbatical, which is such a sweet memory for me, and I know it is for some of you too, I wasn't ready to teach that class. I always loved telling this story. I totally resisted it. I was like, nope. Spirit guides were all over me to do it. I was like, I'm not ready to do this. And how do you do it? And who's going to even sign up for that? And then as soon as I started Magical Sabbatical, the guidance was, and now you need to do this guided meditation called Elder Council. And you need to do it quarterly, seasonally, and you need to lead them through it. And I was, at every step I resisted, which is probably what a lot of you do too. Like, nope, not ready to do that. That sounds intimidating. And also there was a little bit of like, why me? Why am I going to be the person to do this? But it has turned out to be a blessing in my life. And it's one of the things people say is their most favoritist. And it's just like the full moons and new moons always being there. This is part of my sort of baseline commitment to you. And there's only one thing you do have to consider or do tonight. And so I always start there. And I also posted this in your Facebook group to get you thinking. But if you missed it, don't worry. And thank you for that, because it means a lot to me that you're still here doing it with me too. You do have to ask a question, and you do have to make sure the way they framed it to me the first time I ever did Elder Council was it has to be a question of import, of significance. You can have more than one question, but you got to have at least one. And it has to be a question that you can't answer with yes or no. So it cannot be, should I wear my red dress to work tomorrow? That's not a good Elder Council question. A good Elder Council question is, should I stay in this relationship? Should I move my whole family to Missouri? Should I change my name to Banana Queen? Should I? Big questions, right? Like, I mean, I'm giving you kind of, ridiculous examples to illustrate a point, right? It can go as big as, what is my purpose? What Lauren is, you want me to change my name to Banana Queen? I swear to God, at this point, would anything shock you? It's got a ring to it, What happened to Athena? She's the Banana Queen. So I want you to sit and think about that. I don't even want you to think about it. I want you to feel it. I want that to land for you for a minute. I'm filling my pipe that one of my teachers gave me with some Mapacho tobacco that I tore up with my fingers from the actual tobacco plant. That's what tobacco looks like when it comes from the rainforest in the Amazon. So you just kind of peel and unwind those layers. And one of the reasons it was actually Jessica Hicks's suggestion to do a little mapacho tonight. So I do want to give thanks to her for that. It was a good suggestion. And part of the reason why I thought it was so timely, because I didn't tell Jessica this, of course, she just felt it. Do you know how ayahuasca was discovered by the shaman in the Amazon? Have I told you this story? It's been a while. I think I have told you, but it bears repeating. So I asked the question one time of my shaman, how on earth? I mean, do you know how many plants there are in the Amazon? It's a lot. It's a lot of plants in the Amazon. Tens of thousands of plants, right? If not in the hundreds of thousands. How on earth did they figure out that when you take this one plant over here and this other plant over there and you boil them together for days, that the tea has that effect, that the tea summons that? It has to be those two plants, the Banisteriopsis copy plant and the chacruna plant. So it was actually tobacco. In tobacco ceremony, because tobacco can be a mild hallucinogen if you're using the good stuff. This is not like Marlboro, right? This is legit. It was tobacco that taught the shaman to go get that and combine them and cook it this way. And so grandfather tobacco created grandmother ayahuasca, which I think is really cool. And so it is very much a father-grandfather medicine. I would lose my head if it wasn't attached to me. Where's my lighter? Oh, here it is. So if you haven't smoked mapacho, I can't smoke very much of it because it's speedy. It makes me talk fast. It's 100 times stronger than cigarettes that you buy. So I'm just going to take just a little bit of that medicine, and then I'm going to blow it toward the screen. And when I do, I want you to, there's different ways. Can you fast forward that just a little bit? There's different ways you can work with it. So you can just inhale to receive it from me, or you can set an intention with it. You can just open your arms just to allow that medicine to come to you, and keep it for your heart. Like literally imagine that there's a smoke line. Yeah, it's just a little like spacey. I don't know if you can skip to the next track. Yeah, thank you. So you can imagine a smoke line coming from the smoke that I released to you to your heart space. Yeah, you can lift your left hand up to receive it. That is your receiving hand. You can also extend your right arm out to meet it, because that's your masculine, that's your father hand. So I would just say follow your intuition, whatever you feel called to do. And I'm gonna try just one time, just because my lungs are a little weak, and then if I can do one more, I will for you. Okay, tobacco blessings. Zing. Do you want to try it? Have you ever tried it before?
I've never tried.
You want to try it? Let me try one more for you, just to make sure you got it. And you can send me your mother blessings with your and you are so welcome. But it is zippy zingy.
Thank you.
Yeah. I actually forgot how much I love it. So it was, like I said, the invitation from Jessica was really welcome this evening. Thank you, grandfather spirit, for the blessing of your medicine. Thank you for helping us to be in this moment together. Thank you for gathering us from the four corners and for anchoring us in this here present moment. Thank you for granting us the wisdom and the strength that we need to navigate these uncertain times. Thank you for reminding us tonight of our connection to each other, to the elements, to nature, to all timelines, for our connection to love. And for me, most importantly tonight, one of the things I'm really seeking is just connection with my teachers, especially because I haven't been able to work with them in as direct a way this year as I would like. I see crisis as opportunity. So that's an opportunity to connect more internally with my own spirit teachers. So thank you, thank you, thank you to the grandfathers, abuelitos, for your wisdom, your blessing, your presence. May we be worthy of all that you gift us. Teach us to uphold the law. Teach us to understand on a deeper level. Teach us to be present and to stay in gratitude. Amen, aho, and so it is. And really be there, take this moment to think about even if you didn't know them, your grandfathers. I didn't get a chance to know mine. But I stand on their shoulders. I know stories of their experiences and their sacrifices. I think of them often. My dad's father, Christophoros, incredible stories. He was a ship man. It was one of the things that Demetrius and I have in common. Both of our grandfathers were ship builders and sailors in the Aegean at the same time, actually, which is really interesting. Different parts of mine was south in Crete, and his was north in Sparta. But sort of both protecting that body of water and knew how to build and sail ships. And my grandfather was sent to war and came back, and then was sent to, everything was destroyed, and then he was sent again, and he came back and had a heart attack from all the stress on his body. So he was very young when he passed away. But I think of him so often because my father is a gentler version of him. My grandfather was very hard, but I also have compassion for that. I don't think you live through those times without hardening in some way. And it must have been very hard to leave 6 children and their mother the way he had to. And he was also, so he was a shipbuilder and a sailor and all those things, but he also was he had vineyards and olive orchards and a little general store where he sold wine and olive oil that he and my grandmother and his brother, who was my dad's favorite uncle, Nick, who he's named after. His uncle was very soft. My grandfather's brother was very soft. And the stories that my dad tells of him are just absolutely endearing. And I think it's really cool that he's named after him and my son is named after my dad. So there's a lot of that, the 2 faces of the masculine, right? And tonight I want you to sit with both of those faces. I sit before you as a woman, but I really sit in my masculine, and I'm named for a goddess who did not have a mother, and one of the only ones, right? And so I've always lived a very sort of masculine life in terms of always being in leadership roles, wanting to study leadership, not wanting anybody to help me with anything, being sort of obstinate and stubborn and achievement oriented and all those things. But I've really learned to live more in my feminine in my 40s and 50s. And so I want you, and if you were adopted, elder council becomes this really cool experience, because I've always said my heroes are adoptive parents. And some of you who are adoptive parents who are here tonight have heard me say that before. Single parents and adoptive parents are my heroes, because how incredibly beautiful to be a steward of a life that you chose, right? A life that you said, yes, I'm gonna caretake you through this life. I think it's an incredibly important role, and you are the heroes to me. And I've come to have so much respect for single parents, especially becoming one in my later life, and learning about the burdens and challenges of that. So my hat is off to you. Parenting's hard enough on any level, no matter how you do it, but it's especially challenging and difficult, I think, when you take on those roles. But the rewards are incredible, right? I feel so blessed to be able to be a single mom to my kids. Lucky me, and lucky you, to those of you who get to steward lives that were on this planet and needed you. And I also think about the intentionality behind adoption, because those souls called to you and you listened and you said yes. It reminds me of the Annunciation, right? So if you are adopted, what a cool opportunity Elder Council is to maybe connect with those spirits that you didn't know, but and then also to really think about the fact that your adopted grandparents are your grandparents too. I absolutely believe in a soul lineage and a physical material lineage. So I think you almost have the party bonus of having both, and you can listen for those voices. And like I said, I never got to meet my grandparents. My mom's father died on Skid Row, and so if you ever wonder why I have such a crazy soft spot in my heart for people who are homeless, it's because my grandfather was homeless, and my mom found out where he was right after he died, on the streets of Los Angeles. So that is a challenging lineage to feel into as well. But he was an amazing man by all the stories. Again, my grandmother loved him a great deal, and so broke her heart too when all of this was discovered. So sometimes I try to feel he's not energetically close. I haven't been able to make that connection, and I don't know why. Some souls are a little more resistant. But yeah, so sometimes when people are really connected to certain things, like why is she so passionate about resources for the homeless? It's like, yeah, well, that's my grandfather. When you see those people out there, that could be someone you love and their relative, right? So it's always really important to have compassion. There's 1,000 ways that life can go, and it's sad when it goes that way, right? So cheers tonight to you, to all the places that you come from. Mm-hmm. We belong to each other. I wanted to start tonight by reading you a poem. It's okay if I read to you for a second. This poem was gifted to me this week by one of my teachers. She's a clinical psychotherapist, but she's also an energy worker and an exorcist. She really is. We were talking about it today. She's like, sometimes when I'm talking to you, I wear more of my psychotherapy hat, and sometimes when I'm talking to you, I wear more of my exorcist hat. When she was trained in the 90s. I know she's fantastic. She's about to retire, and it breaks my heart. I'm always like, nope, I will find you wherever you are. You will not retire. She's an incredibly interesting person. I am her only client who is not a psychotherapist. So she is called the teacher to teachers. She took me on because she said I come as close to being a psychotherapist as I can without being one. So anyway, this was her gift to me this week. And I thought, you know what? I would like to gift this poem to you because it reminded me of you. And it's called, anybody know Mary Oliver, by the way? One of my favorite poetesses in the world. If you know Mary Oliver, you already love her. And if you don't know Mary Oliver, you're so welcome. I would encourage you to spend the whole rest of your night reading her poetry because it's just so good. It's a great gift to give to people. The book of Mary Oliver's poems is I don't know if there's anything better in the world. So yeah, well, I also do not plan to retire. What's retirement? Retirement is when you don't like what you do, so you want it to stop so that you can not do it anymore and relax. And I find what I do very relaxing. So you just discovered Mary Oliver? How cool is that? Yeah, so anyway, I'm sharing this on behalf of my exorcist. Okay. It's called Wild Geese. And you might just want to close your eyes. And so, because you'll hear better if you close your eyes. You do not have to be good. You do not have to walk on your knees for 100 miles through the desert repenting. You only have to let the soft animal of your body love what it loves. Tell me about despair, yours, and I will tell you mine. Meanwhile, the world goes on. Meanwhile, the sun and the clear pebbles of the rain are moving across the landscapes. I might need to close that door. I don't know if she's going to be coming and going. Over the prairies and the deep trees, the mountains and the rivers. Meanwhile, the wild geese, high in the clean blue air, are heading home again. Whoever you are, no matter how lonely, the world offers itself to your imagination. It calls to you like the wild geese, harsh and exciting, over and over, announcing your place in the family of things. So the first lines are my favorite. Mary Oliver always hits you like a ton of bricks right at the beginning. Isn't that beautiful? You do not have to be good, and you do not have to walk on your knees for 100 miles through the desert repenting. You only have to let the soft animal of your body love what it loves. So her question to me, which I in turn ask of you, is what does the soft animal of your body love? And that's all you have to ask yourself. And what I love about this poem in particular, I used to interpret literature for a living, so it's probably 1,000 ways to come at that poem, right? But what it reminds me is the world is operating. Everything is moving. It will keep moving long after you're gone. It was moving before you got here. But your job, your singular job, in fact, as a parent, as a human being, as a friend, is to give yourself permission to pursue what you love. Because when you do that, then you really inhabit your life. And when you do that, you can then show up and do a good job. When you're not allowing yourself to let the soft animal love what it loves, and when you're crawling on your knees, repenting and trying to be good all the time, that is a job in itself. And that is actually a grand distraction from the truth and the essence and the core of who you are. So, like the wild geese that we are, which I love that. I think that should become our name for each other, the wild geese. I hope you will find ways in this present moment, in the middle of chaos and disorder, to really listen to what your innermost parts want from you and for you. Okay, so I'm gonna turn to my notes. And then remind me at the end, moderators, because I have quite a few announcements. My gemstone class is coming. I'm just working with Bruce, my former graphic designer, on the logo this week, which is really exciting. We have new moon tomorrow. It's lining up with the Lunar New Year. It's a new moon in Aquarius, so it's about going your own way. You can go your own way. So that's tomorrow. We have Entrepreneur on Friday. So yes, if you are an Aquarian moon, this is your moon. But if you're sun, moon, or rising, it's gonna be a good one for you. And we're gonna be setting intentions in new ways for new visions, new possibilities. Imbolc is Saturday. That is also my beloved's birthday. And so there will be a recorded Imbolc ceremony for you, because we're gonna take all of our peeps, young and old, and go have a celebration. So there will be a brief ceremony to celebrate Imbolc, but it will be recorded this year so that we can celebrate her. We have a lot to celebrate. Okay, are you ready? So tonight's journey, what my spirit guides were guiding me, and I just want to keep burning things, so I'm going to burn while I talk. I want some Palo Santo. Oh, you have it. Yeah. How'd you like the tobacco?
It was lovely.
It's strong, isn't it?
It is very strong.
Zing.
Yep.
Yeah, that'll hit you.
I haven't had tobacco in months.
Yeah, and that stuff is next level. So what they were leading me to tonight is something that they were calling in meditation the hands of compassion. And as I reflected on what I was originally shown for this meditation and kind of like allowed myself to flesh it out and writing out my notes, it's like the hands of strength, hands of compassion, hands of grace. Tonight is about taking the pressure off of your physical body and allowing your nervous system, which I'm going to teach you a little bit about your nervous system tonight, to relax. And from that place, what they've told me for tonight is from that place, you will receive deeper guidance about whatever the challenge or question or query is that you're facing. And, Lauren says, relax. What is that? It's really, people are not relaxing right now, and you can feel it in the field, can't you? There's this like everybody's shoulders are up. And the body is holding all of that. I feel my body holding it. And right now we're not just holding it. This is one of my old elder council candles. So it feels good to have that if you have a candle that you want to light. And I actually have my original Elder Council perfume from San Francisco. This is the first bottle of the first batch I ever made. And the newer batches, I did my best to keep it real. Sometimes I added additional ingredients over the years. But I can say that all the batches that I know of that are current are true and accurate to the original formula, which makes me happy. So if you want to anoint with a little old Elder Council, you're welcome to do that. There's a story behind that oil too, but at the end, if there's time and you want to hear it, I can tell you that if you're new. So I'm going to walk you through tonight's plan and kind of the inspiration behind it before we go into our meditation. And while I'm doing that, I want you to keep centering and recentering and centering and recentering on your question. Don't let me distract you from that. It is actually the most important part of tonight, because the quality of the experience that you have is directly correlated to the intensity of the question that you ask. So, and again, they're not going to, it's not like you're going to say, ask a question and they're going to write the answer down right in front of you. Sometimes the clarity comes like that. But, you know, my experience of Elder Council is sometimes it's tonight in your dream time. Sometimes it's next week in a conversation with someone where you go, oh, because this is a shamanic experience. So it isn't a 1 + 1 = 2. It's a 1 + 9 = 3,000, right? So it is possible that you will get some really good clarity right now, tonight, in the moment. And it's also possible that it'll be tomorrow morning over coffee with your partner that something like emerges and you go, oh. And I do want to remind you, in case I forget to tell you, you might see dead people. And dead people sometimes look like nothing. You might see pure spirits. It might, when you close your eyes, it might be like nobody showed up. They, you know, I always say angels in heaven don't look like the Hallmark angels. And, you know, they don't have the little wire antennas and like the little wings, and they're not holding a heart like this, right? So we have very human in our mind schema for what angels look like and what spirits look like and what ancestors look like now. And then there's the reality of the spirit world, which is dynamic and not human. And so sometimes you'll go into a meditation like tonight and you'll feel hands and arms and energies around you tonight, but you won't see anything. Or you might see animal or hybrid beings, which exist too in the spirit world. Think of Thoth, who's part ibis, part man, right? Or the Sphinx. So you might see like, gosh, the top of it was a crow and the bottom of it was a woman or something. Like, don't let things, just don't go into this with expectations, and don't think you failed if you don't see anything, because people have said that to me many times and then they get reassured, right? So yeah, and sometimes it's a little weird just because the spirit world's really weird. I mean, I hate to break it to you, but I mean, I might as well just disabuse you of the notion that it's normal now, because it's not. Like this world isn't even all that normal, but the spirit world is definitely not normal. So, but your soul is not shocked by these things. Your soul knows where it came from and where it's going back to, but your mental, your human mind might go, whoa, what is this? So just allow yourself to see what you see. Don't have expectations. And then most of all, just keep centering and recentering on your question. So the question for tonight is who holds you in this life? Who mothers the mother when your mother's gone? Who parents the parent? Who heals the healer? Right? Who teaches the teacher? And the answer is the forces do that, right? I mean, I call them the forces. And you're welcome, by the way, just to kind of lay down and start to go into a softer place. You don't have to look at me, and there's no extra points for paying really good attention. So it's actually, at some points, if you really drop in, you may stop hearing me, and it doesn't matter, because it's not about my words. It's about the circle that we open together, right? So if you want to lay down, I think that's nice. So in shamanism, there are what are called the 5 points of compassion. And there's different words for compassion. So I don't want you to get attached to that word, but I like the idea of compassion as this quality of consideration that we can offer to each other that is a full expression of love. And there are 5 sort of hallmarks of what that looks like, or the process that follows. And then in my own practice, I add a 6th point of compassion to it. Some people teach it by drawing a star and sort of having each one of the points of the star be a point of compassion, which some people also connect them to the 5 elements: earth, air, fire, water, and spirit. We're not here to do all that tonight, right? I just want you to like feel more than you think. So, but this will all be in your notes if you want it. So the first is, and it's kind of a Buddhist, I have to say, like, this is shamanic, but it also has a very much a Buddhist flavor to it to me as well. So if you have studied Buddhism like I have, it may resonate with you more in that context. So the first is to recognize that all beings suffer. It is one of the realities of human existence, right? The fact that you have a nervous system means you are going to have sensations, and not all of those sensations are going to be pleasant. This is one of the hard parts about being a parent, a mentor, a teacher, an auntie or an uncle or a godparent, right? We have to teach the next generation. And I feel like the next generation isn't sort of getting that message sometimes. They want things to be easy, instantaneous, comfortable, because we've created a lot of comfort in this generation. But life itself is sort of uncomfortable, right? So learning to, number one, recognize that there is suffering. That's the root of compassion. How can you have compassion if you don't understand that people suffer? And part of this is also understanding that not everybody suffers the same way, and not all suffering is visible to you, right? My daughter and I talk about this a lot because we have invisible chronic degenerative diseases. So, on the outside, the package looks good, right? Our bow is tied nicely, but on the inside, we may not be feeling well, right? But you wouldn't know it. So, suffering can look like a lot of things. It doesn't have to look like anything, but it is important to recognize that all beings suffer. And so everyone suffers, and suffering is also universal, meaning it crosses space and time. So everyone suffers everywhere. So there's nowhere in the world that people are untouched by this reality. The third point is that you can and you, I don't like to say should, you can, and it's valid to have feelings for other people's suffering. It's okay, in other words, we can normalize the fact that if we know someone is suffering, to allow ourselves to feel something in response to that. You can call it pity, you can call it empathy, you can call it whatever you want. Everyone suffers everywhere, and it's okay to feel for that. The next step is to engage tolerance for suffering, our own and others. Now, that doesn't mean that we go around creating suffering, or we say, oh, because people suffer, we just have to accept it. Think of tolerance in this context as creating space, holding space for the fact that others suffer. And then the 5th point is, all of this should motivate us to find ways to alleviate that suffering and create comfort to the extent that we can for ourselves and others. Okay? Everyone has it. It's ubiquitous. It's everywhere. It's okay for that suffering in yourself and others to generate feelings. It's okay to tolerate a reality that includes suffering, because there's a certain measure of acceptance there, right? That actually is important. And also, we don't want to deny that other people are suffering. We want to create and hold space for that, even if we're not suffering. And then we should be motivated to alleviate it. The point I add to this, the 6th point that I add in my own practice, is that we also have the power to call in universal resources to support us in the alleviation of suffering, meaning we don't suffer alone. And I don't know about you, but that felt like that completed the circle for me of this concept. It didn't ever really feel like it made complete sense until I added that piece. And I'm like, oh yeah, and we don't have to do it alone. We're not doing it alone. And we don't need other humans even to be part of that process. That can be entirely a matter of spirit between us and our creator, us and God, whatever you call it, us and our spirit guides, ancestors. And so, and how we do that is we call in universal resources to fill all voids and empty spaces with compassion. When I was talking with Deborah about her exorcism days, because we've had a lot of conversations about that. As you can imagine, it's a subject of some interest for me. Having had to perform one or two in my time. Christina's here from Hawaii. Aloha. We talk about protection a lot. And she said, the exorcist's most powerful tool is love. It's the one force that darker forces cannot overcome. And so, the most important, she was my teacher of what I've taught you many times, which is the most important form of protection you will ever have is love. Because the darker forces don't get it. They don't understand love. Love is a repellent. It's like off for bugs, right? Like those forces don't want love. And it sounds weak to them. Like, oh, really? You're going to, I've even been in spaces with darker energies where it's like, haha, like you're going to come at me with love. And it's like, yeah, actually I am. And there's nothing you can do. That is the one force that they cannot overcome. So I put that out there to you for your consideration tonight, because I think what I'm trying to do with you in this meditation is call in all of your resources, which are different than mine. We all have a different spirit team, right, that works with us, to hold you in as much love as possible, to fill every space, void, and crack in you with that energy, to send you back out into the world after tonight's meditation a little Teflon coated, right? That's the intention for tonight. And it feels really good. Does this also resonate with you? So this is where we're going tonight. But I'm going to do it under the guise of Elder Council, which is calling in all of your spirit allies to be here and present with you. Let me see if there's anything else I wanted to talk about today. Now, being really human about this, like what are we actually doing? Tonight's meditation is designed to support your central nervous system. So I'm not here to necessarily teach you entirely about your CNS, but I do need you to know a little bit about it. You have two sides to your nervous system. You have your parasympathetic nervous system and your sympathetic nervous system. Okay, you have it, I have it, everybody has it. The parasympathetic nervous system is called rest and digest. That's the part of you that's the half of your nervous system that knows how to relax, that food grounds you, right? How to find comfort, how to return to a calm state after any kind of agitation or trauma. This is where you find, cortisol and melatonin. I'm not cortisol, but melatonin and serotonin, which are your sort of your super juices for self-soothing and comfort and happiness. This is where we go. This part of our central nervous system results in a decreased heart rate, the ability to regulate our blood pressure, which is of course related to your heart rate and hypertension and all of that. And then this, relaxing into and sort of activating the parasympathetic nervous system helps to heal and repair the body. So what's the most important thing to do when we're not feeling well? I'm a terrible student of this, but rest, right? That's why your body needs to slow down, and you need sleep, and you need naps, and you need, some good comfort food and lots of good teas and herbs and ashwagandha, which is really good for your parasympathetic nervous system, and cannabis, which is nice for your central nervous system. And so do you understand that side well? So always think parasympathetic, the parasystem, rest and digest. I do things, mnemonic things to help me remember. So I always say para repair, right? The parasympathetic nervous system is your rest and digest, let the body heal, slow down. The sympathetic nervous system is your fight or flight. And a lot of us are living in fight or flight. The thing is, you can't live in fight or flight. You will have a heart attack, right? I mean, that's just the reality. At some point, you have to regulate. So this is what we call regulation of the central nervous system. And again, my intention tonight is to regulate your CNS. If I do my job right, that's exactly what I'm going to do. And then what I love about tonight's meditation, and I never like to take credit for it, even though it's it is my idea, but these come out of meditation. So it's really spirits working through my voice and hands, is that you can do like a little micro version of this, even in the car while you're driving or at night before you go to bed. So I find tonight's meditation to be really portable. And I like that. Like, yes, we're going to do the extended dance remix of it tonight, but I mean, tomorrow when you're stressed, you can do this. I worked with it today. I've had kind of a really stressful couple days. And so I was practicing this last night as I was trying to get some rest, and it really was very helpful. So I hope you'll take it into like a little tiny micro version and use it when you need it. Now, the sympathetic nervous system isn't a bad thing. I mean, it keeps you safe. It prepares you for conflict. It's looking for danger and trying to prepare you to be able to fight it. So we do need that half of our central nervous system. And you have to keep in mind, like the way we've evolved as human beings, really for the first few thousand years that human beings existed, our whole job was to survive this planet, right? I mean, so that we don't get attacked, so that we have enough food, like very, very basic needs. We've evolved to have these higher order needs. And like I said, with AI and stuff, we're going to keep evolving toward a more complex iteration of our purpose for being here. And so I think over time, we're going to engage more of the sympathetic nervous or parasympathetic as opposed to the sympathetic, because we just don't need it as much, but we haven't evolved that far yet. So we're still scanning for problems. This is where adrenaline comes from. And a lot of us function on adrenaline rushes, you know what I mean? Like I can push through, I can keep going, and it's just like eventually your body kind of collapses. What's interesting is, how do you know? Do you know the one foolproof sign that you have too much sympathetic activation and not enough parasympathetic? I can physically look at you and tell. Do you know what it is? I can scan a room and go, that person is under too much stress. That person is under too much stress. That person is under too much stress. That person's managing it. Do you know the visual? It's a kind of a tough reality, but it's really, really true. Weight around the middle. Yeah. I mean, now menopausal hormonal changes can cause that as well. There's other things that lead to that. But if you have high cortisol levels, you're going to have an uneven distribution of weight around the middle of your body. So you'll have to see someone who, like, you know, their body shape is that way because increased cortisol levels result in abdominal weight. So it can take years. Right? It can take months, but people who've been through a lot of trauma and their cortisol levels have been elevated over time and they never engage that parasympathetic, that para rest and digest, right? Includes reducing stress levels. So if you have, you know, middle of the body weight and like nothing changes it, even if you do hormone therapy or anything else, it's your stress levels. You're in fight or flight and you've been there for too long. And so we learned things like vagal breathing, which is the inhale is half as long as the exhale, right? So in for 2, out for 4, can actually start to change your physiology. Yeah. So I'm just telling you that. I mean, this is science. This isn't metaphysics. This is any doctor will tell you this. And then if you have your cortisol levels checked, it'll validate it for you, and then you can make lifestyle changes accordingly, right? But vagal breathing is very important, and then, you know, once we start to, you know, gain weight from cortisol activation, you know, what that puts pressure on is your heart. So then we wonder why we have all these really stressed out people with heart disease, and sometimes it's not even genetic, right? So, and I'm sitting here. Yes, I am listening to everything I am preaching. Affects me too. There are tests for cortisol. Did you know there's actually mail-in tests for cortisol? You can actually order a cortisol kit online and get it home and do your boop-a-doop and send it back and find out your cortisol levels. And again, there's lots of herbal, you know, remedies for elevated cortisol. I'm not here as an MD, but I just happen to know a lot about it. So, but it's good for you to know. Because especially if you have heart disease and other things in your family, you want to manage your cortisol levels. And you want to try to remove the stressors that are increasing your cortisol levels. Sometimes you can, and sometimes you can't. Sometimes your very living environment is stressful. That's why I'm here, to try to give you some tools. And this is why I work with people in my life who teach me tools too. We're all here to help each other feel better. Okay. With that, you ready to fly away a little bit? Any questions before we get started? I really do want to see if you have questions before we get started, because I want you to really enjoy this experience and relax. Then I'm going to tell you to tune out and lay down or close your eyes or do whatever you need to do. I'm grateful for you. You're an at-home caregiver. Welcome to cortisol land. Because it probably never shuts off for you, does it? No. I'm a single mom who works out of my house. Whew. Somebody is always hungry. Somebody is always having a problem. Somebody always needs something. Somebody somewhere. There's no off switch in my life, right? So here we go. And that's why we have to learn the energetic sort of tools, and we have to have an inner landscape, an inner world, right? It's very important. Let's see. Okay. Yeah. Taking care of older relatives, taking care of younger relatives, different kinds of stress. It's all ice cream, right? Vanilla ice cream, chocolate ice cream, still ice cream. It's all stress. Yeah. Karina says, with all I'm managing, I feel like the duck on the pond, floating gracefully on the surface, but so much happening under the water. It's true. And that's why I'm always saying, like, if you judge things by how things look on social media, you know, I'm one of those people who actually will say, like, P.S., my life's a shit show or whatever. But like most people want to put on the best possible veneer and keep their shit together all the time, and bless them for trying to do that. But I do hope people have some place in their life where they're allowed to cave a little bit, right? Yeah, that's totally the meme with the iceberg. Yeah, and that's why sleep is so important. So, and getting good quality sleep, which is a topic of a whole separate conversation, but one worth having. I'm glad this is a cave space that you can come and do this. Yeah. And, you know, yeah, we in Los Angeles with our fires and all that stuff, like that was nothing but a, you know, and the app going off every 2 seconds with notifications. That's just like cortisol central. But it's okay. Again, we came here to do this, right? You came here to do this thing that you signed up to do. So now you're here and you're doing it. You won't do it forever. I mean, I'm sure that's not news to you, right? Nothing is permanent. Nothing about this experience is permanent. So it's actually, and sometimes I still need permission to just say, I'm going to do something just because I'm going to enjoy it, just because it's going to make me laugh, just because, like, Lee and I are in the process of getting tickets for Billy Idol with Joan Jett at the Kia Forum in September. Not because we have to, but because that's going to be fun. So, you know, like sometimes it's okay just to do things because. What's really cool is that our kids actually will want to go. That's how you know they've had good parents. I'll take full credit for that. I wonder if Billy Idol likes to journey. I like to imagine that he does. So I want to just begin by calling in the guides and guardians. I like to take my time to do that with Elder Council. So I'm just using my rain disc just a little bit, so gently bringing in a little bit of the element of water tonight, because there's 2 different ways to do tonight's meditation. You can visualize yourself on a sort of a mattress or a really comfortable bed, or you can visualize yourself floating in the middle of a beautiful body of water. I'm more of a bed person than a water person, but some people love to float. So I'm going to let you determine, kind of choose your own adventure. But you give me a good bed any day and I'm happy. So Yeah, so you can choose your water though, because I know so many people who would choose water as their place to go and receive this medicine tonight. So I want to begin by calling in the guides and the guardians of the East. Let's get our circle open and tight. Thank you to the guides and guardians of the element of air for helping us breathe tonight. Take things back to the beginning. Inviting in just a really beautiful cosmic reset tonight. And just visualizing your lungs actually opening to expand and receive. Even if you're like me and you've been not feeling well over the last couple of weeks, actually opening the airways and the passageways is incredibly healing for your body. So I want you to bring your attention to your own breath, to the inflow and the outflow of air through your body. And thank you to the guides and the guardians of the East for helping us engage clearer sight and vision, helping us to fly above and over the challenges of our lives rather than crawling through them. To Mary Oliver's point, I want you to imagine yourself rising tonight above, going to that 15, 20, 30,000 foot view, and really visualizing your life that way, you know, letting everything get really small underneath you. And feeling the expansiveness of how big this planet is, how expansive this universe is, how small you are, which can bring you so much comfort when things feel overwhelming. So just letting there be space and light and air tonight. And then bringing in the guides and the guardians of the South tonight from the element of fire. Opening that gateway tonight for change, courage, and transformation. You know, here we've had so much of the element of fire, and it's just this reminder that fire just burns and it creates its own weather patterns. Did you know that? That was one of the things, I think I knew that, but this experience in LA, they had a whole program on how fire creates its own weather. Absolutely changes wind currents on its own, and it's because fire is its own force. Again, how do we do this? With the forces. So tonight I'm asking Spirit to help us create our own weather patterns. If it's been raining too long in your world, let's stop the rain, right? If the winds have been blowing one direction, let's ask the spirit guides to help them blow a different direction now. Create your own pattern. I'm so glad you're here. And then calling to the west, which feels really good tonight, element of water. The guardians of the west were here with us this week in LA and brought us so much rainfall, which we needed. So imagining big bodies of water tonight. Calling in the energies of the big oceans, the Pacific, the Atlantic, the Indian. And again, I've been fortunate enough to be next to all of those bodies of water, and they are vast. And water reminds you how small you are. And water has the same capacity to make its own weather, it can create, right? We gestate in water, don't we? It's amazing to think about it. We come from water. And yet it can destroy at the same time. So asking for the guides and the guardians of the element of water to purify and cleanse us tonight, to quench the thirst and to bring us a sense of abundance and flow, being in the right place at the right time. And then to the guides and the guardians of the north, which is the element of earth. We call you in tonight for grounding, for stability, to hold us, to remind us that we don't have to hold everything ourselves. We're being held, right? Just like the East can teach us that the East can breathe for us, we can also learn from the North that the earth can hold us. that those guardians can surround us and put big arms around us. So calling in that patience and perseverance and that strength that you may not know you have in the north. And then asking that the guides and the guardians of the upper world, our community of the middle world, and the bones and stones of the lower world all come forward to anchor us in this present moment. So connecting with angels, archangels, ascended masters, spirit guides, ancestor spirits, connecting with each other, allowing our essence to be connected in this moment. And if you're watching the replay, even in the replay, right? There is no time. And then connecting us to the past through everything that resides within this beautiful planet, from where we come and to which we shall return. And so both axes are held. The guides and the guardians of the east, the south, the west, and the north are here. The above, the middle, and the below. And together we say, Amen Aho, and so it is. And again, welcome in. And if you're just arriving, you're right on time. We got started a little while ago, but you are here in Elder Council. And all you have to do is just follow my voice, and I will lead you in and out of this experience. And whatever you have with you is exactly what you need to have. So trust that process. And whoever and whatever energies need to come forward and be with you tonight will be here with you. And you don't have to summon them. They know what we are doing. So thank you for that too. I am here, you are here, and we are here. Cheers.
Cheers.
Okay, so make sure you're nice and comfortable. If you were laying down, but you're like, you gotta adjust this one thing. I don't want to take you out of your state that you're in, but invariably my underwear is uncomfortable whenever I first lay down. Like, I'm like, oh yeah. So now I really double check my panties when I lay down for journey. No, I do, because if it's bothering me, it's going to bother me the whole time. So just go ahead and pull them out or do whatever you need to do. Yeah. And don't be afraid. A couple of things about the way I do this work with you and for you. I'm holding a big container. I open one circle before I even start with you, and then I open our circle. So I've got you. And it's not me that's got you, it's the energies, the directions, and the elements that have got you. But you're in a double circle. And also, you have to trust the process a little bit, right? That is the gift of journey work, is you learn to know that you're going to hear what you need to hear, see what you need to see, know what you need to know, and it's all going to be just right on time. So there's an element of just surrendering and letting go, and just to be here now. One of my teachers used to say, I won't take you anywhere that I can't bring you back from. And I was always that student that wanted to go just a little bit further. You know, people like that, maybe you're like that. And she would go, no, you don't. Like, oh, come on, let me go just a little bit further. And it's like, next time. I'm using my Hunab Ku drum tonight, which is a very sacred Mayan portal. So we're going to go from here to there and back again. Thank you so much to my spirit guides for this space and this container, for guiding us all together here. Work through my hands, my voice. me to be a good channel and help these incredible souls to drop in now just a little deeper. Help them to feel the love and the intention and the connection behind this moment. So, for this meditation, as I said, you have two options as I guide you in. Usually we go and sit at a table together, but not tonight. Tonight is a healing for your body. And I'm actually giving your body a break. I'm going to work directly with your central nervous system tonight. So, this is a visualization of all of your ancestors, spirit guides, ascended masters, and teachers coming to hold your body so that you can let it go and we can work with your nervous system, which is also called the Sushumna. It's your central channel. It's the energy flow, energy network in your body. So you can visualize yourself crawling into my bed. I have the best bed. It's like a cloud. We call it the trap. So once you get in, it's very hard to get out. Especially if I'm in it with you. So you can come into my bed if you want, which I want you to imagine the biggest, softest bed covered in down comforters and mushy, snuggly pillows. And the temperature is just right. There's enough light in the room, but it's soft. It's filtered. So I want you to, if you want to do the bed way with me, I want you to imagine crawling into that bed now and stretching all the way out. I mean, really just feel your body stretch, your arms outstretched, stretch your legs out, or curl up on your side if that feels good, to a little fetal position. Pull all those pillows around you. Don't forget to put a pillow under your knees and your feet so that your spine can rest. And feel even your neck relax. Feel the pressure coming off your shoulders. So glad you're here. And you're so meant to be here. And this is not a luxury, this is a necessity. There's nowhere else to be, nothing else to think about right now except just getting as comfortable as you can be. And if you're doing the water method, I want you to imagine yourself in the warmest, clearest water. Maybe it's like the Caribbean for you. It's not deep, but it's not shallow. Imagine yourself wading out into that water and then allowing yourself to turn and float. And again, stretching out your arms and your legs. And the sun is just so warm above you. The temperature is perfect. And you can feel the water, the waves, the gentle waves, just holding you, just buoying you. Every cell in your body relaxing. Again, the temperature is perfect. Maybe you can hear a breeze, but it's just the most serene, peaceful water you've ever been in. You can feel it all around the back of your head, under your arms, and under your legs. Again, nowhere to go, nowhere to be, just this moment. And I I love the feeling of you just letting go, because there's no pressure here. This is just ease. This is just the in-breath and the out-breath. So whichever place you are, I want you to now invite, welcome any energies that want to come and just attend you where you are. Maybe it's ancestors. All you have to do is just invite spirit guides, ascended masters, light beings, teachers, ancestors, both lines, from all generations, behind and ahead of you. And feel them start to come to your bedside. Start to gather around you in that warm water. And I want you to keep your eyes closed. So I want you to focus not on what you see tonight, but on what you feel. And ancestors, spirit guides, light beings, and teachers, I ask that you come forward for each person in the circle tonight. And I want you to feel them reaching out to you and placing their hands of compassion and strength and support underneath you. It's the most gentle touch. And as each comes and places their hands, their wings, I want you to feel any tension that was left in your body start to dissolve. Feeling the hands at the back of your neck, holding your skull, releasing all the sacral cranial pressure. Feel hands behind your ears, and just feeling the back of your neck soften. Hands on your cheeks, under your shoulders. Just enjoying feeling that touch. Feeling gentle hands under your arms and elbows. And feeling one or two of these guides and guardians having the honor of touching your hands. So gently holding your fingers and your fingertips like they are the most precious, beautiful, exquisite things they've ever touched. Feel those hands coming and holding you under your back, For some of you, I feel like they're also placing their hands above your abdomen. Some of you have energies that are coming, placing their hands on your heart. Feeling those hands coming under your lower back, coming under your hips, and releasing all of the pressure from your lower back. Again, your body is not holding anything right now. You're being held. Hands under the backs of your legs, under your knees. For some of you, I feel them placing hands over your knees, relieving tension and pressure. Hands under your calves, under your ankles. And again, the tenderness at your feet. Hands on the soles of your feet. And the tenderness of those hands on your toes. Again, as if each one of your toes is so precious. Feeling yourself relax. And again, there may be hands over your legs, over your hips, over your heart. And I'm seeing, it's so beautiful in my mind's eye. I'm seeing guides and teachers come up behind these guides and teachers and ancestors, placing wings and hands over them while they hold you. What an incredible sight to behold. As layer upon layer of support comes, and it's support for the support, for the support, for you. I'm seeing light codes between these hands and your body. Symbols. Holograms. This could be a recoding of your body, of your DNA. Some of you, I'm seeing light beings that are just gently stroking your forehead and fingertips between your eyebrows, touching your eyelids, just helping you relax and soften and feel. And just feel the comfort, feel the connection, allow yourself to enjoy. And at the same time, bring your attention and your awareness to your question. What do you need to know? What's on your heart? For these layers, these beings, these energies. Then ask the question. And know that the answers tonight may come through sensation, awareness, more than words. light codes more than symbols, sounds, smells. What do you need to know that you don't know right now? In that space between yes and no, and right and wrong, and then and now and the future. And I'm just going to drum here while you listen and feel. Allow and receive. Ancestor spirit guides, I ask that you touch the places in them that need to be healed tonight. Let the system rest. Take them from fight or flight into ease. And let them work. Some of you, I can feel them working on muscle and bone and at the cellular level. Just let them work. Just checking in now with yourself. Is there anything else that you wanted to ask, understand, feel, surrender? around the dark moon, darling. Where is it sitting in your body? What can you release tonight? They'll take it back with them to where they'll go. What can you let go tonight? You can ask them to take it out of where it is and remove it. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So now, take a moment to be in gratitude. Remember our grandfather medicine. Just say thank you to all that showed up for you tonight. All the work they did. It was effortless, right? Easy. You didn't have to force it, guide it even. You let that intelligence work through you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Guides, guardians, teachers, masters from all dimensions, ancestors. We release you. Feel their hands gently withdraw. Gentle bow as they step away from you. And the hands that were holding them come to prayer pose. And And the hands that were holding those hands come to prayer pose. And the wings that were covering wings retract. And the energies just recede. Gently, until what was visible is no longer visible to you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And the good news is this space is always here. In that time outside of time, place outside of place. You can come back here anytime you want or need. You don't need permission. They're here waiting for you. Tuck you in at night tonight. Just gently start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Thank you, grandmother, grandfather, for your medicine tonight, for not leaving me. I can feel you. Mother, I feel you under my feet. Remember that song we sang together? Mother, I feel your heartbeat. Just gentle, gentle, gentle as you come back here. Remember that song? Back to the heartbeat. I know. I didn't want to go either. Can't we just stay here? You and me. Can't we just stay here? Easy, 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 easy does it. You take a moment to come back. I need to go take a screenshot of that song that stayed with me for the whole thing, and I did not cue that up so that I can post it for you tonight. So I will be right back. I will post all of the songs. I think they're on a SoundCloud playlist, but I will say the way that that music did that, I've never heard. I've listened to all my playlists. I've never heard that exact line of songs in that way before. And it was, I don't know how much of it you could hear in the background, but it literally was like it was rehearsed with my drum. So, was it glowing? Welcome back. And you don't have to open your eyes yet. You know, this is your meditation. I'm just a facilitator. So you stay right where you are. You don't have to get out of my bed yet. Yeah. Thank you for letting tonight be stretchy. You know, I could feel you allowing the space, and I could feel you resting in it, and it was really beautiful. The only way this could be better would be to do it in person. That's the only way it could be better. So I really hope that in those spacious moments you could feel how truly loved you are. That experience is very real. There are that many energies across that veil that want to hold you and can. Whew. I have to say, this was one of the more deep elder councils for me. And like I said, when the idea came to me, as it always has, you know, if it ever doesn't, then I'll know I'm off track and off purpose. But nights like tonight remind me that this is still what I'm supposed to do here, you know. Which, you know, that has come up as a question for me this year. Like, is this what I'm supposed to be doing? And it's like, this still feels like we're plugged in, yeah. Aw, Angel said she was holding her smoky quartz from the first retreat. It felt like I was with her again, beside her. Some of you, I got to do that. I'll never forget. It's as real as if it was happening today. Doesn't seem like it was so long ago, does it? So I am grateful. As much as I didn't feel like I was ready to do this even back then, I am grateful that I get to do it. And thank you for being open to the experience. I was going to do a closing tobacco blessing. But I will close with some sage smoke, which feels just as good. Because we opened with smoke, so we should begin to close the circle with smoke. One thing I will tell you about Elder Council is And I'll be so curious to hear your reflections. We usually go into the Facebook group to continue conversation about reflections, or you can share them here. And sometimes reflection requires a pause, right? It requires integration. It's the word we use in practice, right? For the space between the experience that you had and your ability to understand that experience is called integration. So sometimes it takes a little time, and then you want to share, or sometimes you want to share right away. But do a little writing, even if you're not a heavy journaler. Writing is how I process my world. And it is for some of you too, but some of you aren't, and that's okay. And sometimes I don't want to write. There were a couple of years where I didn't want to write anything, which is weird for me. But so here's your smoke line. Because it seems like you'll have this clarity and awareness, like, oh, I'll never forget that. And then, later tonight or tomorrow morning, it'll be like, what was that again that I heard when I was noticing them at my feet, or noticing them at the back of my shoulder, or, so take the time to reflect a little bit in writing, and don't even put parameters on it. Just sit down and just start to write. So, because sometimes it's going to come across as like you're writing in first person about yourself, or you're writing in third person about yourself. So just let it flow. It could be just words. If you like to draw, it could be images, but like really give yourself that space to integrate everything that you felt and experienced tonight, because it will be with you forever, but it'll be harder to recall as the time passes. So it's really important. I'm glad you feel calmer, Jeanette. That is magic. And Lisa was gifting or using the Lemurian that I gifted her, which we just talked about, because I just saw Lisa on Saturday, which was a huge blessing. Teresa said, I left my body and felt myself jump back in and out between the worlds. Ooh. Did you feel, I hope you did, that sense of like just kind of weightlessness, or the ability to float, which was, my intention to let your body rest so that your soul could do work, right? So I wanted you to feel a little weightless, a little like you were floating, whether you were in the water or not. Hillary said the guides put her to sleep, and when she started to wake, she was told to show love to her town that suffered so much, and was told to give the energy of life, that it provided life to us all. Mm-hmm. It's beautiful. And I love Pali. So that whole side of the that Pacific Rim there. Yeah, the last time I spent a full day in Malibu was with Yasmina, and it would be hard for me to even drive down the coast right now. I wouldn't want to see it in its current state. It would break my heart. Diana said, much surrender, big clarity, so many loved ones surrounding, my mom holding my hand, one hand, and her dad holding the other. Oh, I can feel it. There were some of you really, when I got to the hands and feet, it was like I could just see, just like almost like they were touching you, and it was just the most beautiful thing that anyone had ever touched. Like it was just the most, kind of like if you have ever touched a baby's hands, they just feel, it's like you just want to look at them and stare at how tiny and miraculous and soft and beautiful. And it was like I could just feel the way they were looking at you, and it was just, that moment was precious. And then the big wave for me, was anybody able to see what I was seeing? Sometimes in Journey we can kind of like jump timelines and kind of be in each other's vision. I did not expect to see the layers of souls behind souls holding them while they were holding you. I was almost like I could see it from on top of you, like over you, and like rows. So it was like there was the initial group that was holding you, and then there were the ones behind them holding them, and wings over them. And it was like, whoa, what is this? Could you see it? Even if you couldn't see it, it was, wow, right? So some of these things were very uniquely different from any other elder council I've never seen. I've always seen them come forward, and like I said, we're usually around a table, and we'll do the table one this year just so we have more traditional experience. Not that there's like a traditional experience, but this is all weird, but you know what I mean? But I have never seen them nest like that. It was quite miraculous. So, and I'm so glad Jody said I've never felt that safe before. So when at the beginning there were a couple of you that was like, what if I feel some fear or some hesitation or whatever, and it's like, actually my intention was that you would feel probably the safest you've ever felt. And then in that safety, your body rests. In that moment, you were absolutely in your parasympathetic nervous system. And I guarantee you, your heart rate normalized, right? I guarantee you, your blood pressure normalized. Everything normalizes. So, and I'm so glad, like Lauren says, she's going to go back into that place as she falls asleep tonight. And you can go to sleep now, by the way. You know how when you have a good massage, all you really want to do is go to bed afterward? It is 9 p.m. Eastern time. Look, it's dark outside. It's 5:55 p.m., which, by the way, make a wish for abundance. May you be blessed with abundance in all ways on the dark moon at 5:55 p.m. Money flows to you from sources seen and unseen with ease. What else do I want to say? Well, it's 5:55. Money comes to you effortlessly. You have abundance of all forms in your life. You are blessed with abundance of health and joy and wealth and good food to eat and comfort in all ways. And okay, that was all 5:55. You always have to make a wish for abundance at 5:55, and to have that at a dark moon, amen, aho, so it is. May it always be. Well, thank you for that. Bufnita said I saw an indigenous person with red paint and a child, the same, with the eyes of a tiger. Ooh, chills all over. Love that. Oh, thank you for that. Angel Baby said I'm going to listen to this again tonight. And you can go right back in. I might listen to it. Sometimes I go back and listen to it because I do journey with you. I mean, I was right there, but it is a more challenging experience to both lead the journey and do the journey at the same time. So sometimes it's nice to go back and just listen. It's not like I enjoy the sound of my own voice, but I can drop in and then I can just enjoy it, versus having to be mindful of bringing us all back. So yeah, it is 3:55 Hawaii time. Like I said, it was 8:55. So, but it's always 5:55 somewhere. You were called to do water aerobics this spring. I like that. There is a call to weightlessness. There is a call to weightlessness right now because all there is around us is weight. In all ways, this is a heavy, heavy time. But it is not a hopeless time. There's always hope. I believe that with all my heart. Was it the best nap? I'm so glad. Karen said it was kind of sad feeling them release. It was gentle, right? Like you could feel the withdrawal of the hands was just so gentle, but like I could feel you guys, and I could feel you guys kind of like almost curling up tighter in or relaxing more into the water because it was like, oh, don't go. I could feel that. Tracy said it felt like all the ancestors were holding all of us together. Mm-hmm. Beverly said I was in a higher place with the rows of people. It was a crowd. Mm-hmm. Shana says my heart space feels more full and open. My head and sacral feel more at peace. Thank you. Oh, you're so welcome. Crystal said I saw and felt angels around me. So many healing hands, so warm and wonderful. Yeah, I wish I was an artist. I'm really blessed because my old graphic designer is working with me again now. I think I told you that. He and I could just say something to him and that was it. And he would go off and create. And it was like, because, I'm not an artist. I'm a very graphically oriented person. Like it's so clear in my mind, but I can't draw or anything. So he and I are working together. He's doing the logo for Gem Journey. I'm going to start teaching a course on gems in February. I think I'm going to launch it on Valentine's Day to start at the end of the month. And it's just going to be a once a month shamanic journey with stones. That's what I'm feeling called to do. But I'm telling you all of that because I think I'm going to tell Bruce about what I saw tonight and see if he can make an image of it. Because wouldn't you like to have that? Do you want me to see if he can do it? I don't know what I would give it to you on because like I don't have the big old printers and canvas makers and stuff like I used to have at SG. So I don't know what I would do with it, but maybe I could just like do prints of it or something. I just feel like he could do it, you know? He was always so good at being able to take a image or an experience, but he's a translator. Yeah, like a digital file would be cool, right? I don't know. Let me figure it out. I'm going to ask him just because while he's working on everything else. Yeah. Yeah, maybe I'll do it as a PDF because I think you can do that on Etsy. I will have to pay him to do it, so I wouldn't. I'll have to translate that to some kind of product to cover that cost because he's really good, but his time is extremely valuable. So let me see what I can do to create something like that, but not if I don't have to print it, if it's just the image, that can be very reasonable. We'll see how it goes. And here's what's interesting. I will be curious to give this idea to him, see what he does, and then have all of us kind of see how close it comes to what we saw. You know what I mean? With our human eyes, will it be like, oh yeah, that's what I saw? Because the colors were kind of like they were just. I've got to make some notes while I'm in this place. I'm going to send him a WhatsApp voice message, I think. Well, thank you. Thank you, Terry Cassidy, for seeing me. She said, this has also been your victory, Elder Council, and you led it beautifully. It is my first as a solo. Sola. So thank you for being here for my my rebirth in a new form. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for being part of my rebirth this year. It's been incredibly emotional and beautiful and tragic and exciting and scary and all the things that you imagine it is. It has been. And I'm here for you for all of it too. Can you tell I'm postponing letting you go? I was serious. Can't we just stay here? You've had those experiences in life, right? Where you're just like, can we just hold this? I do want to point out that Grandpa has been here. Whatever that cat did in the previous lifetime was really good. He was here for all of it. I send on big meditation days. I send Paxton on a play date. One of my dear friends is a dog trainer and dog sitter, and Paxton just loves her and all her dogs. So I sent Paxton with her tonight just so that we wouldn't be interrupted. But Captain Smudge over there doesn't have a place he goes to play. So I'm glad your animals were here for it too. So I will post this playlist. I actually don't know which one is playing. So that's going to be kind of fun to go back and find it, but you'd like it to have it, right? You need to have I'm pretty sure this is SoundCloud. It might be Spotify, but I think it's SoundCloud. So you'll need to have an account to play it. But I have the most beautiful playlists on SoundCloud. I have spent almost a decade curating them, and they're all really, really good. So it's worth having a membership for that. I don't get anything for it, but to play them, you have to have a SoundCloud account. So I will get that for you too. And then one thing my teacher taught me that I think is really just something to pass on to you too, before I release our friends. With a playlist like this, like, don't play it when you're stressed out. Don't play it when you're play it when you can be in this place. Because if you do that, if you make the music sacred, right, then you will drop back in as soon as you hear it. So it will become like you won't even have to tell your brain and your central nervous system to relax. You will automatically do it, but you got to kind of reserve it for that experience, or it won't have that effect. So if you feel like you're stressed, don't just play it when you're driving. You know what I mean? Like, really reserve it. Light candles, for, for that 20 minutes that you get to yourself where you can take a bath and just shut out the world or whatever, save it for, or a shower. If you're a shower person, save it for that. Or play it just before you go to bed every night. My partner loves this music, and it wasn't something that he was really familiar with when we started dating. So I kind of introduced him to this whole idea of shamanic music and intentionality about music, certain music for certain experiences. And so you can introduce your partner to it. Yeah, that Mother, I Feel You. I don't even know where that came from, Jessica. Just like all of a sudden I had to sing it. So in my not great voice. But yeah, we definitely went into a different vibrational space, Beverly, that is extremely accurate. And you sing that one too, Teresa. Isn't that crazy? I mean, I haven't even heard that song or thought about it in such a long time, but that's what I was saying. I'm so grateful that ayahuasca is still with me, despite the experiences I'm having now. But it's big proof, you know what I mean, that it's not really about the medicine, is it? Not really. I mean, it is and it isn't, right? It's the spirit of a plant. It's the spirit of the plant. Yeah. Whew. Well, we can have those conversations too, about the journeys and those experiences, and definitely some of the most profound of my life. And it has sucked to take a hiatus from it, but all that means is it'll be that much sweeter when I'm able to go back and get to where I need to be again. Ah, Mirmana. You are always safe in this container. I'm your fellow black sheep, right? Yeah. Donna said, my elder fur baby that was close to passing for weeks has regained much energy. Total transition. Oh, hoping it lasts for some time to come. May it be so. May it be so. Oh, I'm so glad, you guys. All right, well, let's release the guides and the guardians. Thank you to all of the guides, guardians, ancestor spirits who attended us this evening. Thank you for your presence and your love and your support and your nurturing, softness, the healing. We thank you, thank you, thank you. We release you across timelines, dimensions. We send you back from whence you came. And all the things that you sent with them, they will take with them back. Maybe this is your new dark moon ritual. What do you think? Could be, right? I kind of thinking it's going to be mine. The night before the new moon, to do this meditation and ask them to take the density of that month, right? Oh, I missed ceremony with you. It was the longest couple months of my life without ceremony with you. So I'm thankful to all the guides and guardians and humans who helped me put myself back together in a way that I could do this with you again. Big deal. I love it. And I love that Bufnita's sharing that. Like, I asked them to take away the expectations. It doesn't have to be a physical thing, a physical release. It can be energetic. This music is crazy. I gotta know what playlist it is. I will figure it out and post it for you. I'm gonna do it right after we're done here in a couple of minutes so that I don't forget. It's a big deal tonight, the music. And it wasn't right at first. At the beginning, I had Lee jump a track because I was just like, it was weird. I don't know what it was. And then she skipped the track and all of a sudden it was like, all right, Spirit, you're ready. I love you too. Thanking and releasing the guides and the guardians, lower world, middle world, upper world. Thank you for coming all this way tonight just for us. Thank Thank you, and releasing guides and guardians of the north. Thank you for your peace and your protection, your love. Thanking and releasing guides and guardians of the west. Thank you for your energies of healing and renewal, nurturing, compassion, abundance. Thanking and releasing guides and guardians of the south, courage, protection, strength, transformation. Thanking and releasing guides and guardians of the east, breath, air, vision, clarity. Thank you for helping us see what needs to be seen. And together we say, Amen. Aho. And so it is. Yay for no fear. Well, here's the thing, like, those are the moments where you kind of have to just surrender and trust, because I can tell you all night long not to be afraid. Like, don't be afraid. And I'll tell you something, I don't feel fear going into Journey, but I always feel a little bit of awe. Is that Paxton? I think it's Paxton. It is Paxton. Yay! Come say hi to everybody. You were right on time. Come here. You missed all the drumming. You missed all the drummings. Hey, I missed you. Did you have fun? You missed all the. I'm still live. You want to say hi?
I'm sorry.
No, you're
I
fine.
had no idea.
I heard him. He always comes to the door.
I don't look that great right now. but
Oh, you
I
look
will say hi.
adorable. You look beautiful. And Paxton, do not chew my drum, honey. Okay,
Beautiful drum.
sorry. I'm like inviting you into our house now, but I mean, you're in our house. But thought you might want to see P-Man. Hillary says you look beautiful.
Hi, thank you.
You do. How could she not look beautiful? She wakes up looking beautiful. All right, cheers, everybody. I'm gonna go get that playlist situationalized for you so that we don't lose track of our music. Auntie C loves you. She was in with us tonight from Hawaii,
Oh my god,
where we
really?
should be with her. Yeah,
Oh,
I
I
know.
wish we were with you.
One of these days. Cheers to
Can I
that.
show them the nails I did?
Of course. You want to see your nails?
Excuse me, Pax. Traffic.
Nope. No.
Incoming.
Hey, honey. No.
And now he's sitting
Mm-mm.
on me.
No.
Okay, I'm gonna try here. Oh my god.
Yay. Oh, they're beautiful.
They're like, I'm writing on my hands, but they're like magenta, and they're chrome.
She's really good at nails. Oh, look at this.
Oh god. This is not going well.
Look at Grandpa's face. Look at Smudgy's face. Oh my lord.
Oh my god, look!
Couldn't you just watch that all night long? See, who even needs television? Look at his face. Can you see him?
He's so big.
That cat don't pay him no mind. He don't pay him no mind. Mm-mm. Barrel dog. You're a barrel dog. You just barrel into him. All right, you guys. Have a beautiful rest of your night. Thank you to our moderators. I'm very grateful to you. And on we go. So tomorrow, new moon, 5 p.m. After party, 6:30 in this same container. And then, no, hey, don't chew the, no, he's trying to eat the tobacco. No, you may not have tobacco, sir. And no Palo Santo either. And then Friday, Magical Entrepreneur, session 3, where we do the integration for January, and in bulk Saturday. Don't get tired of me yet. Imbolc is probably going to be recorded because it is my best friend's birthday. It's Lee's birthday. So I want to take her out to dinner and our kids. So he's happy to be home. So I think I will be pre-recording in bulk. I'm usually in Tucson. I always miss Lee's birthday. Can you take him out for me so I can say goodbye to them? Thank you, Barrel Dog. Bye, guys. I always miss Imbolc and her birthday because of Tucson. And this is the first year I haven't been in Tucson in 12 years, which sucks balls. I'm still thinking I might sneak out there. I have friends who are extremely disappointed that I didn't go. So I still might make a overnight getaway to Tucson just because Tucson. But anyway, so it'll be nice to be here for her birthday in person, which I haven't been in forever. So I want to celebrate her. Honestly, there are a few people in this feed I couldn't have done this without. Right? Christine and Lauren and Vanya and Circe and Jessica just could not. Susan, 1000%, right? But Lauren here Lee here on the ground, I could not have done this year without her. So I have to just absolutely say thank you. There aren't even enough words to say thank you to her, but at least I can throw her a nice birthday party. All right, cheers. We love you. Have a great rest of your evening. I will see you tomorrow for New Moon. Can't wait. So glad you were here tonight. Good night.